season after season, they get a chance to connect with the characters more deeply and care for them more often because they're seeing them more often. And do you hope that it's the same for this character of yours as well, for Missing King?
I definitely hope it's the same for this character. I think there's something about this long form, recurring series format that gives us more time to tell a story. It gives time for an audience to really get deeper into these characters, and selfishly as an actor, it gives us more time to work out who they are. And the better that we understand them, the better we can convey them, and the deeper you get to know them. And especially time between seasons of filming, it gives you a chance to let the character progress, mature a little in your head, and you come back with fresh eyes to it and a whole new experience, which will only inform the performance.
Thank you for that. Our next question is from Sana. Sana, are you here from Jakarta? Hi, Sana.
Hi, Richard and Priyanka. Vanakkam. My question is, what was the most fun memory on the set?
Vanakkam. My most fun memory on this set was when we wrapped it. I was like, back up, yay! It was a very, demanding show. It demanded a lot. So I think I felt a sense of achievement once we had finished it, once we wrapped it. I remember what Richard did when we wrapped. He went and shaved his head. Don't call me back for another shot.
Oh! No more continuity for you.
That's a fact. That was fun for me too.
Thank you so much for that, Sana. Would you like to take that?
I think on the day it was very difficult, but I look back, there's a whole sequence which I can't talk too much about, but it involves a submarine, and it has such huge spectacle to it, and I remember being there, and it kind of feeling like you were at a theme park, because you were completely immersed in such a humongous set and experience, and that as an actor is one of those moments you don't have to do a lot of acting because everything around you is so real.
Correct. And you're excited.
I paused for a second when I walked in and I saw the set. I've never seen anything as huge and immersive. It was interactive. It was moving. It was alive. It was unbelievable.
Wet.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Can't wait to watch it. Don't do this to us, both of you. All right, who's next? Kalpana from India Television. Hi, Kalpana. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi Gaurav, congratulations, brilliant show, brilliant trailer. How important is India to the success of this global franchise?
India is super important. We are kicking off the entire journey right here from India. It's before all the other things happen. This is the first place.
The first one.
First one. So that says how important it is. I think you think about it, the fact that besides the show and how interesting it is, we have Priyanka, who's our Indian global superstar, and everybody loves her here. And we have Richard, who has a huge fan following with the work he's done here. So that makes it super exciting for customers in India. And then the fact that we have part of the integrated universe, that we have India leg to it that we talked about. So all of this make India a super important part of the entire CITADEL story. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Our next question is from Vaibhavi Rispoot from NDTV.
Hi, Richard. Actually, I want to know from you at this stage of your career, when you choose a project, what are the things that matter? I mean, what is the primary thing? Is it the director, the story, or the character that you are playing? What is that one thing that's completely non-negotiable?
I think for me, what would be non-negotiable now, it's actually really true. I can't work with people I don't like anymore. So it's really non-negotiable for me. I have to admire, look up to, and like the people that I work with, like the people that I'm surrounded with. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I want to be excited about going to work. I want to be inspired about going to work, and that's become non-negotiable for me. So when I meet the people that I'm going to work with, I take notes in a little pad. But that truly is something that, as I've evolved, become very important to me.
Makes sense.
For me, it's not so much about just a director or a story or a writer. It's kind of simple. If I get to the end of the script and I want to go back to the start and read it again immediately, then I've usually found my next project.
Well, thank you so much for that.
See that because I think DK and Raj, the filmmakers, are so amazing, they're so talented, and that they're going to bring their own spin to the Indian installments. Very exciting.
Well, Priyanka said she had no advice, but Mason came. Do you have any advice for spies shooting currently?
Absolutely not. No, those actors, there's such a wonderful amount of talent in the Indian version of our show, and each one is going to be different to the country it's in. So I think that's what's going to be beautiful, is everyone finding their own version of it. I mean, we're still working ours out as we go, so I just hope they're having lots of fun doing it.
Absolutely. Of course, we've spoken a lot about Citadel, but we've got to ask you guys questions about each other, if you're ready. Oh, come on, this is fun. This is the first time you guys have worked together. There's got to be lots there. So what was the one thing that you guys loved about working with each other? Richard, men first, please.
I love working with Priyanka every day because she keeps me present. We're both hugely like to prepare properly before we engage in something, but I can overthink things and get in my head about it, and Priyanka was always great at bringing me right back into the room and being so present and allowing us to really play together. And I think that's kind of, in many ways, like the characters in the show, we balance each other out beautifully and bring out the best in each other. Couldn't ask for a better dancing partner.
Oh, that's lovely. Yes, I think that deserves a round of applause. Thank you for that. Thank you.
I'll tell you what I love about him is exactly the same thing, but the opposite. So there are things that I miss.
Yin and yang. Love it.
So because our script is extremely, it's many, many layers and there's a lot going on, I'll come on the set and take a certain approach, and Richard will just tell me in my ear, "You already know this information." And then I take a second approach.
Backstopping that again.
So we protect each other and we have each other's backs, and that's really wonderful to know that, we're not trying to trip each other up. We're not trying to point something bad out. We're truly there to support each other because we know the show is about the two of us together, and the better we dance together, the better the show will look. And we've always protected each other.
Beautiful. Teamwork, making the dream work, absolutely. Honestly, because I'm seeing you after so long, I would totally be selfish and sit and chat with you forever, Priyanka. But I have to be kind and generous to all our friends here. So I'm going to sit here, but I'm going to call upon somebody else to join us for media questions. And that is, of course, Gaurav. Would you join us on the stage, Gaurav? Thank you so much. Hi, Gaurav. Welcome back. Yeah, we've already got a lineup of journalists and publications that they're from. I'm going to take their name and their publication name, and you please ask the question. First up, Parul from Zoom. Are you here? Hi, Parul.
Hi, Parul.
So my question is for Richard and Priyanka. If you both had to give just one reason to the audience why they must not miss Citadel, what would it be?
I think, well, from my point of view, I think we're used to television and film being 80% drama, 20% action, or 80% action, 20% drama. And what we've tried to do is 100% of both. And for me, that's something I've not seen on television before or tried to do before. And for that one reason, I'd say, please tune in and watch it, because when you really fully combine those two things, you end up getting something electric all the way through it, not just the peaks and troughs of action or the lows of the drama. It's a real combined, beautiful thing.
And that was very intentional. My one thing would be, once you start, I don't think you'll be able to stop. And I love binge watching shows, and I think this is one of those shows which you're going to be like, oh, I need the next episode now. So that's very exciting to me.
Thank you for that, and thank you, Parul. Our next question is from Ajmal from Mathrubhumi. Ajmal, are you here? Yes, you are. Hi.
Hi, Richard. Hi, Priyanka. My question is both of you. What was the most challenging part for you while shooting this Citadel?
For me, the most challenging part, I think, was just being able to physically and emotionally keep up with the twists and turns of the show and also that we shot it over a year and a half. It was a long time. It physically required a lot from us. And that was challenging, but I love to rise to challenges. Challenges make our jobs exciting, so that's why the show is very exciting.
I think one of the most challenging things for me was trying to find the character traits that both of my characters share, and the nuances between how they behave, how they react to people, how they speak, and trying to see which of them are learned things and which of them are built into you as a human.
Thank you for that. Our next question is from Sanchita from Times Now. Sanchita, are you here?
Has so much heart because their characters can't stop but be drawn to each other. You know, our characters, their characters, our characters. And I think that just makes for like good TV, you know, like you invested in both Nadia and Mason. At least that's what I felt when I watched the whole show.
So, you know, we know this from the trailer, of course, that there is, you know, these characters, they lose their memory and they're actually going to be different people now with different personalities, I'm assuming. At the same time, there's flashbacks, and then you just said who they might be in the future. I mean, I'm sitting here, a complete non-actor, okay, complete layman question. How does one even prepare for a role where you have the past, the present, that you don't remember the past at all, and the future that might be? I'm intrigued.
It's kind of like, it's like one of those scenes you see in a police drama where they have pins in a chart and strings
Yes,
between
exactly.
things.
Yes.
That was our trailers and dressing rooms, is trying to work out how do we tie these stories together? How do we make it as clear as possible so the audience can understand it? But behind the scenes, we are keeping each other in check, comparing notes, be it what character are you now, what do we know, what do you know? So it's a complicated process, but in the end, it makes it very clear on screen, but you know, with a lot of very confusing days.
Correct, like 2 personalities over these 6 episodes. At any point did you go like, where are we now?
Every day.
Oh, really?
Every day.
Oh my
We had
God.
to come in every day and kind of not just check, like Richard said, check in with each other, because our characters knew, I mean, we knew our characters really well. So we would say, do you have this information yet? Did Nadia tell Mason this? Does Kyle know that? And then we had to really confer with, you know, the directors and the filmmakers to be like, wait, we don't want to pull on a thread that we can't, you know.
And the drama. So how does the story balance out those elements?
I think that was intentional. It was extremely intentional, and that's what makes this show stand out, is that it's not just flashy, it doesn't just have amazing action and it's like big sequences and explosions, but you actually invest in the characters that you're watching, because that's the main story, is what's happening between them. Everything else is a byproduct of the story.
Richard, would you like to answer that?
I completely agree, and everything else is an opportunity for us to connect to the story. So it was quite easy in a way to pull all the aspects of the characters into all these duality.
Priyanka, home question. Home question for all of us. How does this play out for an actor? Emoting in the middle of all the action.
It's so much better than just doing action. Like you're sitting and you're hitting someone, punching someone. It's like we, especially in like the first sequence, for example, when the show opens, to be able to scream at each other, exchange dialogue in the middle of like fighting 5 bad guys, to find like a quiet moment, to have a real conversation and then go back to like explosions. It was so exciting to be able to see and execute a scene that was created like that, because it's not boring, you know, you're not just seeing like, okay, we've seen these amazing stunts before. You actually have interest and soul and you're invested, you know, you're like, what is happening? And I think that just gives the show so much of an edge over all the other action spy world.
Absolutely. Good times, hi Pooja. Over to you.
Hi Priyanka, good to see you. How have you been?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well, and you're no stranger to action. You pulled some serious punches, as we did see in Quantico. Comparisons are bound to happen, but since Citadel also has a lot of action, suspense, and thriller, how would you differentiate between the 2 projects, given your experience and the action in this?
Completely different characters, completely different jobs. Yes, we both hit people and, you know, maybe get mad a little bit and get angry. But I think I don't think there is much similarities because the worlds are very different. I think that I've deliberately, and when you watch the show, you tell me, I want a text from you, Pooja, but I've deliberately tried to make Nadia very different from characters that I've played prior. She has a quiet confidence about her. She doesn't need to showcase, you know, her badassery. It just comes naturally to her. So even like scenes and stuff, everything that I did comes from a place of internalization. So I hope you can see the differences of the character. Plus the world is completely different. That was based in real time. This is, you know, a dystopian world. It's just, I think they're very different, but I'll wait to hear from you.
Thank you, Pooja, for that question. Tanzila from Exchange for Media, are you here? Hi. Go ahead, we can hear you.
Hi Priyanka, hi Richard. Really enjoyed the trailer and look forward to seeing the series. My question is for Gaurav. Citadel is one of the biggest series for Prime Video globally. Could you please help us understand the success of the same?
Incredible amount of talent that I would be honoured to work with. In terms of what kind of movie, I would like to do something comedic. I think we do so many serious things. It would be good to do something a bit more comic because I've not really done that, so maybe that will happen in the future.
We need to start thinking. I'm already thinking about it, guys, don't worry.
Speaking of franchises, there's a couple that come to mind. All right, thank you so much for that. Our next question is Joyita from India TV. India TV? Hi Joyita, India. Hi.
India TV.
India TV? Yeah.
Hi Joyita, how are you?
Hi Priyanka, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Lovely meeting you like this.
Me too.
Okay, so my question goes to you. Priyanka, recently you appeared in an international podcast show where you spoke about, there was a time in your career where, you were put into a corner. So, noting that was the reason you sought work in Hollywood. So, just wanted to know that why speaking about it now?
I think that first of all, when I was on the podcast, I was asked about the journey of my life, and I spoke about, when I was young, when I was 10, when I was 15, when I was 22, when I was 30, 40, whatever. So I was talking about the truth of my journey, and I think now I was confident enough to talk about that phase of my life. I think now where I am, I was okay enough to kind of articulate what I felt. I think I had a very tumultuous relationship with what occurred, but I forgave, I moved on a long time ago, and then I made my peace with it. And I think that's why it was easy for me to talk about it in an open manner, in a safe space.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.